And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Howdy folks, today we're taking a look at a small game called Blood of the Werewolf. Hey, it's another werewolf style game. But in this one you are doing the thing where everyone can see your card and you can see everyone else's but your own. So you don't know if you're a werewolf or a human. You know, that actually doesn't make any sense at all in this thing. The theme, how does that work? You're like, oh, what am I? Maybe everyone's blind? No, it doesn't work. Who knows? Anyway, that doesn't matter. Is the game good? The first thing that you'll do at the beginning of the game is you're going to take several of these roll cards. You'll take an even number of these werewolf cards and villager cards, and you're going to shuffle them up, and each person's going to get one. You're also going to put two in the middle that have these two suspicion tokens on them, one blue and one red. Now your card, you can't see it. See, I'm a human, but I'm not allowed to look at that. I have to pick it up and show it to everybody else without looking at it myself. So I can see everyone else's card except my own. Now what a player does on their turn is they will take one of these cards and accuse somebody. You'll stick that card in front of somebody. You can even stick it in front of yourself. Now why would you accuse yourself? Well, whoever's accused, when it's their turn, they can look at the card in front of them. Because you can look around you, you can see how many werewolves and how many villagers there are, but you don't actually know if your card's werewolf or not, because unless you know what both these cards are, that's impossible to know. Now, if one person has both these cards placed in front of them, that person's instantly killed. The person who is that player will put their card face down, and they're out of the game. And this is going to continue on. Meanwhile, each player has a special card of sorts that they can play once over the course of the game. Like this one lets me look at a card under a confidential. This makes someone's turn end immediately. Here I can place two markers back to the middle of the table along with the cards beneath them. You don't die this time. That's when someone tries to kill you. So there's different cards that you can play on your turn. If you think, let's say, for example, I'm playing a full game of this and there's two other people in the game. I see they're both humans. And I think I'm also a human. I can end the game. And we win. If I'm correct. If there's only a certain number left, in a big game it would be two people, we have to reveal, and if we're both humans, we win. Otherwise, you lose if you're the person who makes the call. Now everyone else can see the cards. When they're out of the game, you can kind of keep track of what's going on, but you're still rooting for the werewolves or the humans to win. And that's really how the game works. Okay, the concept is interesting. Hey, I'm a werewolf, but I don't know it. I'm a human, and I don't know it. So I played the game many times here, and each time you're like, but you really don't have any information to go on, other than if I see 5 werewolves and 2 humans, and there's only so many cards in the game, I know I'm a human at that point. But for the most part, you're not really sure usually. You're like, because of those 2 cards. So you get that information, but if you accuse yourself, it's really easy to kill someone. And in the game, I found out, no matter what, people killed folks. It didn't matter. What does it matter? You're like, well, let's just kill them. Because the game's so fast, and you can say, well, you're killing someone on your own team. Yeah, I know, but it just seems to happen every time. These special cards are completely unbalanced. Some of them are way better than the others. One that keeps you from dying? Are you kidding? One that makes someone else's turn end immediately? Boring. I don't know. I wasn't very impressed with these. The thing was, the game felt like an unfinished concept. Ooh, there's some interesting things here, but there's already a really interesting game called Werewolf, or One Night Ultimate Werewolf, or Resistance, okay? So this game needed to be something I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. So the idea of having everyone else see your card sounds interesting in theory, but in practice, one, it's a pain in the neck to constantly hold your card there. It really is. The whole game, you're holding your card up. But the other, it just wasn't that interesting. There wasn't a lot of deduction going on. You were just kind of accusing people until you killed enough people off, and then you went down to your best educated guess. It was amusing for a little while, but as a game, it kind of falls flat. So that's Blood of the Werewolf. Probably not a werewolf game we'll be talking about in a few years. Dice Tower Judgment? Boring.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.